Hi everybody, my name is John Locke and I am a hobbyist lock picker. I've been picking for about 1 year and I'm currently a red belt on the Lock Pickers United belt ranking system. Today I want to talk about buying your first pick set. So today I'm going to go over what I think is a great way to start picking on any budget, and also things to avoid and look out for when you're choosing your first lock picks. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is things to avoid. I think when you start lockpicking, it's very tempting to try to go on Amazon and find a lockpicking set, and indeed, you will find a lot of results if you do that. However, these lockpicks are all junk, unfortunately. I wish I could tell you that there was a good lockpicking set to be had on Amazon, but the fact is that all of them that are available today as of May 2022 on both the European and American and Canadian versions of Amazon, they're not very good. They unfortunately, the quality is just very, very low. The picks themselves can be very thick, which means that they don't fit well inside of locks. They can contain a bunch of tools that you don't need or won't want, if you get into lock picking, you'll throw them out very, very quickly. So I think they're better alternatives to be had at a very similar price point. If you want to buy a pick set from Amazon, I would say that you can do it, but think of it as a investment in seeing if you like the idea of lock picking, and if that's something that you want to get into, but I would treat it as a disposable set, something that you're going to not use very quickly on into your lock picking career. It's not something that's just going to last you your first few locks. Even after your first or second lock, you're going to realize that you need a different set of picks. Now, the second thing to avoid, and this will sound strange, is pre-built lock picking kits. There are a lot of really reputable manufacturers out there. I would include Sparrows in this list. I would include Southward in this list. I would include Peterson in this list. Lock Tools for sure. Multi-pick as well. These are the top 5 that I have a good bit of experience with, and I could recommend all of these companies for their picks. However, almost all of their kits, pre-built kits, contain a lot of these. They're rakes, and in locksport, we don't really use these. So they can be used to open locks for sure, but I would say that the challenge and the enjoyment of locksport is figuring out a lock and how to get it open with something called single pin picking. That means that you're using a tool more like this, which you use to lift pins one at a time to open locks. If you have watched a bit of Lockpicking Lawyer or Bosnian Bill, almost exclusively what they're doing is called SPP, or single pin picking. And indeed, in the lockpicking communities that I'm a part of, raking is not really considered part of the progression of challenge of picking locks. It's something that can be done on maybe some cheaper locks, even some more difficult locks, but it's not really much more than figuring, getting a little bit lucky with being able to scrub or rake it open. And it's not really the same type of puzzle as learning to pick a lock pin by pin. Now, if you're a locksmith, or if you're really into, just getting a lock open, however however it is you can quickly as possible, then maybe one of these kits is good for you. It's definitely a skill. I don't hold anything up against anybody that likes raking locks. It's a skill that can be developed for sure, but it's not something that's currently part of the communities, the locksport communities, and for instance, the Lockpickers United belt ranking system requires single pin picking. So my high advice to you is to focus on obtaining hooks rather than rakes. And for that reason, if you look at a lot of the pre-built kits, they have a mixture of both hooks and rakes, but because you will be really unlikely to use these rakes, you'll end up with something like this. This is my collection of rakes that I got as part of kits, and I simply never use. They go in this little case and they go in the drawer, and they're never to be seen again. That makes these kits a bad value. So if you look at the price per pick that you'll use, it makes them very expensive and not a very good way to invest your money in this sport. So I rather focus on obtaining hooks, and I will make recommendations today on how to build your kit for that. Okay, I'm about to get started with my recommendations, and first off, I'm going to say that everything that I'm going to recommend today comes from a manufacturer called Sparrows. They're a very good pick manufacturer, and the reason that I am recommending them for my beginners kits is that their price to quality ratio is really excellent. They're very affordable and they're very good quality. Are they the very best picks out there? I would say no. I have other manufacturers that I favor a little bit more. However, I would absolutely recommend Sparrows picks for beginners. They're picks that I absolutely still use today, so they're not like, oh, those are just for beginners. They can be used at all levels. I use them all the time still. I do prefer some other manufacturers, but I would buy those picks one at a time as you progress through your lockpicking career. They're usually a little bit more expensive than the Sparrows picks, and one of my main reasons for including Sparrows in this is that their lineup is very, very complete. Everything that you need for getting into locksport and lockpicking is available from Sparrows. And I think that there's absolutely something to be said about being able to make one order from one company and getting all your stuff at one time. If you're a beginner, I know it's really exciting to get into this, and I would really like to get all my tools at the same time. You'll also pay only one shipping price, which I think is also a benefit. And lastly, the availability of Sparrows is great all throughout Europe, Canada, the United States. You're able to get Sparrows also in Australia. So their availability is very good worldwide. One more quick thing I wanted to say about Sparrows is that I'm absolutely not sponsored in any way by Sparrows. I make no commission from their sales. I have no relationship with them. I'm just a consumer of theirs. So I wanted to also point that out, that my recommendation comes just from my own opinions, and I have no incentive to recommend Sparrows. So first up is the Sparrows Hooker Set. I will put a link to this set in the description, and it costs $21 US at the time of this video. What it contains 4 picks in a hook profile. These are great for single pin picking. They are 24 thousandths thickness. They will fit in a whole lot of locks and are very good. I recommend getting them with the plastic dip coated handles. I think that makes them more comfortable to use, and it also comes with a variety of top of the keyway, bottom of the keyway tensioners, 6 in total of various sizes in 2 different styles. This set alone is everything that you need to pick locks. If you are on a limited budget, this alone is all you need to get started. $21 US, a great value, and this would be my top recommendation for you. My next recommendation, if you want to extend your first picking set, is the SSDeV set of picks. These cost $11.95 USD, and they are available in 2 sizes, in 24 thousandths or 25 thousandths, or in 15 thousandths, which is quite a bit thinner and is good for getting into smaller keyways, especially in European locks. SSDeV picks are designed by a German lockpicking organization. They released the profiles for these picks, and they are excellent at getting into a wide variety of locks. They come with bare handles like this. You can get them also plasti dipped like this for an additional $3, or you can make your own handles. There are a wide variety of ways to make those. I've 3D printed this. If you like this design, I can also, you can find the link for that in the video description. This set is a great way to extend the hooks that you have already from the Hooker set, and will give you even more profiles to play with. My next recommendation and final one for picks will be a pick called the Sparrows Monkey Paw. It is a very special pick. Let's see if I can show you here, if you can see it, because it has a little notch at the top. I think that you'll be able to see that, a little notch at the top, and that means that when you're picking, you're able to kind of get right on a pin and not slide off of it so easily. I find that excellent for beginners, but it's also a pick that I love and use all the time today. It costs, it's available in a couple different ways. It's available bare steel, that's the cheapest, without any handle on it at all. That is $3.90 US. With a handle, it's $4.90 US. And with this graphic design handle, it's steel, so bare steel, but with a very cool laser etched design in it, is $4.95. I have to say that I love the way that this looks. The graphic is super cool. Holding it is okay, it's comfortable, but it's not great. I maybe would recommend this one the most, just in terms of utility functionality, with the plastic handle. But if you want something that looks cool, you won't go wrong with the laser etched one either. Okay, we've finished my recommendation for picks. Now let's talk about tension wrenches. These are the Flatbars Knurled, and actually I'm missing one from my set here. You get 5 of them, and they're in various thicknesses, and they cost $9.50 USD at the time of this video. Now, if you saw my recommendation for the Hooker set, you know it came with a bunch of tensioners already. These guys, these are bottom of the keyway tensioners, and what a bottom of the keyway tensioner is that you put it in the bottom of the keyway while you're picking. You use that to give tension, and you pick with your pick here. Now, bottom of the keyway tensioners, for some locks, they're great. For some locks, they really get in the way and take up the real estate where you're trying to pick. You do have a lot of visibility to at least this first pin, so that makes it nice for beginners, but I find that they take up too much room of where I'm trying to pick. Therefore, I almost exclusively use top of the keyway tension, and a top of the keyway tensioner goes in the top of the keyway like this, leaving the rest of the keyway free for you to put your pick in and go ahead and pick. you're going to be picking by feel and not by sight mostly. So I think the fact that it covers the first pin is not a huge disadvantage, and I think that it is way easier to pick using top of the keyway tension, and that's what I recommend. And therefore, I think that at $9.50, this belongs in your first pick kit. If you're looking to do it on a budget, I would say these plus the hooker set is absolutely 100% everything that you need to start picking locks. If you're looking to add a few more tensioners to your order, these are the Sparrows Heavy Bar Set. They're pretty thick. They come in at 0.05 inches. You get 2 of them. They cost $3.95. So also a good value. These are particularly good for picking locks with very wide keyways. Some dimple locks have this keyway. So if you're looking to add a few more tensioners, top of the keyway tensioners, I can absolutely recommend these as well. Next, I want to talk about practice locks. If you've looked at some lock picking sets on Amazon stuff, you've probably seen these clear acrylic padlocks, and they sound like a great idea, but the problem is that locksport is a feel. It's something that you need to get the right touch for. And these clear acrylic padlocks, you can see what's going in inside, so it's good to demonstrate how lock picking works. But in terms of learning and getting a feel, it's really a useless tool. And so I recommend either the Sparrows Cutaway lock or the Sparrows Progressive set. The Cutaway lock has this window in it. So they're identical bodies, but it has this cut-in window. Here you can see the action of the pins, and you can get a good idea of what's going on inside the lock as you pick, and this picks like it feels like a regular lock. So very useful when you put your pick in there. If you're trying to figure out what the feel actually means inside of the lock, you can stick your pick in there and see what's going on inside of the lock, and learn what the different feelings mean. So this is a great way for learning how to pick. The Progressive set is a similar set. It has no cutaway, so you can't see what's going inside, but they're pinned with 2 pins, 3 pins, 4 pins, and 5 pins. Picking 2 pins is very easy, and you can work your way up one at a time to a 5-pin lock. Now, one of the other advantages of the progressive locks is that you get 4 of them, and in a moment I'll recommend some more things that you can use with these lock bodies, and this means that you get 4 lock bodies, where with the Cutaway you get a single lock body to reuse. The Cutaway lock costs $20 US, and the Progressive set costs $27.50 US. Next up on my list is the Sparrows Reload Kit, and I'm sorry this is not the real reload kit. I'll put a picture of that on the screen right now, but I want to just lay this out to help me remember what is in the actual reload kit. Well, the stuff that is actually in there from this are these 2 pinning mats. These are used when you're taking apart locks as a place to put your pins and your parts so that they don't get lost and roll around. These are fantastic. This is a plug follower and tool for the Schlage style keyway, which is for the Schlage style locks, which the Cutaway and the Progressives both are. So this is what you need to disassemble it and take out the pins from inside the lock. You get 4 different keys and all of the pins to make those keys work. So you take your lock, which comes with 1 key, and you get an additional 4 keys, so you can try different types of bidding, more challenging bidding for your lock. You also get a variety of pins. You get spools and serrated. You get to try different security pins in your lock and learn about different security pins. You get springs that you need also for the lock, and it's It's excellent. $16, a fantastic, fantastic value, and I highly recommend this for either your cutaway or your progressive lock. Another item to go with the reload kit is these Sparrows pinning tweezers. They are special tweezers that have this shape that hold a pin perfectly. This is really needed if you're going to take apart locks, and I recommend it highly. It is available as an add-on to the reload kit, and they are $7.95. Another great add-on to the progressive or cutaway lock is the core trainer set. With the progressive and the cutaway lock, you have a standard Schlage style key and keyway, and they work great. But part of locksport is also learning different keyways, and Schlage is very common in North America, but there are also 3 others that are extremely common in North America, and that's the Quick Set, the Yale, and the Wiser keyways. With the core trainer set, you get these 3 cores and matching keys. And so what you can do with this is replace the plug in one of these locks and have a different keyway. You can see the different shape of this keyway. So you get the core and the key pins and the key you need for this. And with this set, you're able to learn how to pick different keyways using this one lock. So this is a great set for learning how to pick different common keyways that you find in North America, and I think this is a great add-on. This costs $22.50 US. Okay, the last thing I'm going to recommend is you might want to have a case to put your lockpicks in. A lot of starter sets come with a case already. What I have recommended, none of it comes with a case, but you can purchase cases from Sparrows. There are 2 cases I can recommend. This one's called the Sparrows comp case. It is $12.50. It's got room for a good deal of picks. Everything that I've recommended today should be able to fit in here. And this one I like. It's pretty unique. I haven't seen this in any other case from any other manufacturer, but it can fold in half like this, and you use these little straps. Let's do this here, and yeah, these little buttons, and here, and then this case stays up, and you can use it for quick access as a workstation. If you to grab your picks one-handed out of here, it's very easy to do. You can then pick. So it's nice as a little workstation as well. The comp case costs $12.50 US. There is another case I could recommend. It is even bigger than this case, has a lot more room for storage. It does not fold in half, but it is called the Shermann comp case. It's called the Shermann case. I'll put a picture right up here for it, and it costs $10.50. Both a very good value if you feel like you want to have somewhere to store your picks and or maybe to take them with you on the go. These are very handy for that. Okay, where to buy your stuff from? Well, you can buy it directly from the Sparrows website. I will put links in the video description for all of these resources. Sparrows has a US warehouse, and their .com site will ship from the US. They also have a .ca website, and that will ship to Canada. It's a Canadian warehouse, and all of Europe as well. However, if you're in Europe, there are a lot of other resellers that are in Europe. If you're in Australia, there are resellers in Australia. There are a ton of places to get this. If you order directly from Sparrows, you're likely to get some stickers and some other swag, which in my experience, I haven't gotten from any of the other resellers. But if you're not living in the US or Canada, it may be much cheaper to ship to you, and you may not have to deal with customs and import duties and all of that stuff as well. So I will put a link to all the various places that you can purchase Sparrows picks from and everything that I've shown today. And like I said, one of the main reasons I wanted to recommend the Sparrows products is all of this stuff can be bought in one order, and then you pay one shipping, and I think that's a nice advantage. You get it all at the same time. So I want to wish you a lot of luck if you're starting off with your picking career. If you're thinking about getting picks, I think you really can't go wrong with the things I've recommended today. And I just hope that you enjoy it. Please share your experience or your thoughts or your comments, anything in the comment section below. If you enjoy this type of video, if you like this, I do try to put out YouTube videos. Mostly what I do are picking videos, but from time and again I do recommendations and how locks work and other things like that as well. So if you're interested about lock sport in general and you like what I've done here today, I would absolutely appreciate a subscribe or a like on this video. And if you know anybody that might be interested in getting a pair of or a set of lock picks, share this video with them. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your week, and hope to see you in my next video. Bye for now.